Hey everyone. As I was sitting here, I was scrolling through YouTube. Well, I just went into YouTube, and on my suggested was a video. But let me tell you something. I believe that God put that video there because He wanted me to see it, because not many of us are talking about this. Who remembers Dana Coverstone's dream for November? Who remembers that? Well, I'm going to put a clip in right here, and I'll be right back.
And then suddenly, it changed to counterclockwise, and then these images began to appear. I saw cities on fire, which was nothing new. I saw headlines that read, Trump victory challenged everywhere. It was on digital marquees like in New York, Times Square, places like that. There were protesters in the streets who were weary and asleep, and they appeared dirty and dingy like they had not slept or showered in weeks. And this bell rang, and suddenly these people come to life. They woke up and they started salivating like a dog, like Pavlov's dog situation, big buckets of saliva, and it seemed to stain their shirts. And I saw people screaming and getting violent over the election results, to the point that people were firing weapons just randomly into the air, into the sky. People were angry and people were mad. I saw a person with a sign, and it said, the obvious winner is not so obvious, like a placard, like, the world's about to end, God is coming, get ready to, whatever, one of those signs. But it said, the obvious winner is not so obvious. And he held his head in shame. But the crowd was in a frenzy of hatred. They were even hitting each other with their signs and their banners and their wrath. And I saw more cities with pillars of smoke over them, like the wild firestorms in California right now. I saw crumbled and burned out buildings in Washington, D.C. Not monuments, but businesses and commercial real estate. Headlines declared that rebuilding would take time and trust would take even longer.
So as you see, he had a dream of November 3rd. He also, in that dream, saw that there would be a contested election. What's going on right now? What is going on right now? He said that President Trump's winning would be challenged. What is going on right now? We need to pay close attention to what Dana Coverstone's dreams are saying, because we are literally seeing one of his dreams come to pass right now. And it's not just him. It's not just him. It's many others who said that President Trump's re-election would be contested, that there would be confusion around the election. What is going on right now? There's a lot of confusion. So as I said earlier, please go to God in prayer. Ask Him to show you what is going on. Ask Him to give you wisdom and discernment, because discernment is something every one of us needs in this hour. We don't know what's coming, but God does. And He does warn His prophets. Why do I pay so much attention whenever someone gives a word? Well, for one thing, I don't believe everything I hear. You have to have discernment to be able to discern what is true from what is not, which is why every Christian needs discernment. You need to ask God to give you discernment so you can tell the difference. But there's a lot going on. Is Dana Coverstone's dream coming true right before our eyes? And if it is, then we need to pay close attention to his dreams that he has posted. because the coin shortage, not cash shortage, but the coin shortage, that came true. That literally came true. There was a coin shortage throughout the whole U.S. So, I love you all. Please pay close attention to what is going on. Keep your eyes open. We don't have that much longer, and we will be going home. But until then, we need to stay in prayer, and we need to pray for our nation. And, we need to pray for our president because he needs it. Our president right now is in the middle of the biggest fight of his life. But you know why he has such fight in him? Because God gives him the strength. Because God chose him to be in the White House. Because God chose him to protect our Christian rights. And if Biden gets in office, our country will be given away to a foreign land. We will have foreign troops on our streets. We will have foreign troops on our streets. And not only that, judgment will fall. I know many will probably turn against this video, but I'm telling you the truth. God said that he will give us 4 more years with President Trump. If for some chance Biden would have gotten put in office, there will be no more USA. And I'm just being honest. This is not an attack against Democrats. This is not an attack against anyone. This is telling you the truth. If Biden would have gotten in office, our nation would have been over. He would have given us to a foreign power. He would have. The media would have controlled everything that we could say and do. It's a scary time, y'all. And there's many of us, including Israel, and you know when Israel is praying for President Trump to be put back in office, you know that God is in the mix. Why do I say that? Because if Biden gets put in office, he would go back to the Iran nuclear deal and there would be a war with Israel. Iran said this, if you don't believe me. Iran also said that we, or the Biden administration, would surrender to them. This is a serious situation, y'all. This is no time to play. I'm being honest. I'm telling you the truth. And if you only seek God in prayer and ask him, Lord, is what she's saying true? He will tell you, yes, it's true. I'm not trying to side with a party. I'm siding with the one that God put in office. He put him in office for a reason. He has a purpose for President Trump. If you put Trump and Pence together, you get trumpet. You get trumpets. And another thing, President Trump winning election was prophesied years ago. Kim Clement, Mark Taylor, many others prophesied that President Trump was going to be in office because God had a job for him to do. He has a purpose for our nation. He has a purpose for our nation in Israel. What was one of the first things that President Trump did when he went in office? He moved our capital, or our embassy, to Jerusalem. He acknowledged that Jerusalem was the capital of Israel. President Trump is the most pro-Israel president that we've ever had. Many presidents before him have promised that they would recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital, but they never did. God has a purpose. God has a will. And if you're in tune with the Spirit and if you have a prayer life, then you know this. So please, before you make any conclusions, pray and ask God to show you the truth. And He will. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next video.